edit like this in the style of Andrew Procus. So to do this, what you're going to need to start off with is with your 2 images that you want to use. If you want to use more images, then that's fine, but I'm just going to use these 2 pictures here. And you also want to have a new document, so I'm just going to open a new A4 document. Just maximise my Photoshop screen. So what we're going to do is with these images, we're not going to use the whole thing, we're just going to choose a selection of this image. So I'm going to come here to my rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to hold down Shift while I do this so I get a square selection. And I'm going to select an area. And I'm going to let go of my mouse before I let go of the Shift key. So make sure that you don't let go of your Shift key before you let go of your mouse, because it will get rid of the square selection. So I'm just going to place that somewhere where I think might make an interesting effect. I'm going to place it about here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change from my marquee tool to my move tool, which is up here, move tool. And then I can move this from this image and I'm going to drag it up to my new document, and I'm going to then drag it down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it in the corner, press Command and T on my keyboard to bring up my transformation tools, and I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller so that it fits. So I should be able to get 2 next to one another, kind of winging it with just looking at the document. Okay, then the next step is to press Command and J to duplicate the layer. So here you can see that there's a layer 1 and now a layer 1 copy. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to go to Edit and then go to Transform and then go to Flip Horizontal. And I'm going to move this document over onto this side to create a mirror effect. I can enlarge these here. We can enlarge this later to fill up that space if you wanted to. Now what I'm going to do is from my layers panel, I'm going to select layer 1 copy, hold down the Shift key and select layer 1 so it selects both of those layers. And then I'm going to press Command J on my keyboard again to make a duplicate again of those 2 layers. And whilst both of them are still selected like that, I'm going to go to Edit, I'm going to go to Transform, but this time I'm going to do Flip Vertical, so it flips it upside down. And I'm going to place it like that. I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to nudge the selection together so there's no gap between the 2 selections. Now, again, I'm going to press, so if you see down in the layers panel here, layer 1, these 2 layers are still selected. Let's press Command and J one last time and repeat the process of Edit, Transform and Flip Vertical once more. And we can place it down at the bottom over here. And again, just use the nudge keys to get rid of any little imperfections. So that's the first edit done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of shift it into the center. I'm going to first make it a little bit bigger, then shift it into the center. So I'm going to select all of these layers. So I'm going to go to the top layer, hold down the Shift key and go to where it says layer 1. Press Command and T on my keyboard and just make it slightly larger so that it fits the page. Press Enter to accept. And then just move all of those layers just so that they're sitting in the middle of the page like so. Then what I'm going to do is I want to edit this image. Now on here, if I turn this off, you'll see that I changed the image from looking like this to looking more like this. So it's just got a little bit of a cooler filter on it, because I just thought it might look a little bit more exciting when the final piece is finished. And now to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to make all of these layers into a composite layer. And to do that, you're going to press Command, Alt, Shift and E, letter E on your keyboard. And it will make a layer, a new layer, which will move all together as well. So this will also help in case you want to move your image around or change documents and so on. And then what we're going to do, what I did anyway, was I went to the adjustments panel and I went to the photo filter option over here. And from here, you can select preset filters, or you can actually select a colour yourself. So if you wanted it to have a certain filter colour, then you can choose it from here as well. But I think blue, kind of like cool toned, worked a little bit better, but obviously you can try it out yourself. And this density will just make it either a little bit less intense or more intense. So I'm going to set it to about 50%. And then also you want to take this opportunity to make your image lighter. If you wanted to brighter, do this at this stage. So I'm just going to make the picture a little bit brighter and a little bit more contrasty as well. So if you see when I move the black, you can see that the image becomes more contrasted. So this is the black here, this is your shadows, your highlights and your midtones. I'm just going to make it a little bit more contrasty. I think like that is quite good. Now what you're going to do is you're basically going to repeat this process with your second image. So again, I'm going to press the shift key, select an area, change to the move tool, drag and drop it onto here. This time what you want to do is you just want to make sure that your image is going to be actually the same size, because you just need the two pictures to sit on top of one another. So what I would do is place it, I've transformed it so it's a bit larger. I'm going to press Command and J and do my flip. So I'm going to transform it and flip it horizontal, place it next to each other. And I can see here that this is a little bit smaller than my current image that's below it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these layers here. I'm just going to move it so it's sitting at the top of the document, and then press Command and T and make it larger so that it is the same size as the document underneath. Now I'm just going to repeat that whole process of flipping. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing again, and I'm going to press Command, Alt, Shift and E to make a composite. But this time what I'm going to do, we're not going to make a composite. What we're going to do is we're going to press on layer 1, copy 5 and layer 3. So basically this is all of this top image here. And we're going to go to layer, and then we're going to do merge layers like that. So it makes it into one layer there. And then what we're going to do is either you can do one or two things here now. So you can change the opacity so that you're revealing the image that's below. Or you can change the blending mode, and the blending mode will kind of give it this different effect like how I've got here. Because as you can see here, my blending mode here is on overlay. So if you go on this bit here where it says normal and go through this, it will show you all different effects that the blending mode will have on the image that's underneath. And this all depends on the final outcome, all depends on the image that's actually underneath it. So that's overlay again. I think that looks quite interesting. Hard light looks interesting to me. What you can also do is you can still lower the opacity, but what it does is it keeps that blending mode still there. So let me show you the difference. So this is with hard light, and this is just with normal, and with the opacity reduced to 59%. So you can see there what the difference is when you use a blending mode rather than just lowering the opacity. You play around with this until you're happy with it, and then that is your final outcome.